Lobster Dinner. 1. The lobsters were dead in a pile and no longer a danger to us. They were dead in a pile and their shells were not brown, not red, not blue, but the color of eyes, both yours and mine. We ate them to destroy them, but a murmuring came nevertheless from their empty carapaces uncracked, the lobsters with their soft hissing voices and their words like air escaping a punctured tire. We ate them to destroy them all, but suddenly we felt sad and empty and overly full. I turned to you and for the first time told you I was in love. The lobsters were dead in a pile, and with a froth on their shells they waited and watched us undress each other. They no longer made the hostile lobster sounds. They no longer threatened us in tiny words with the destruction of our species, but waited there, dead with eyes that looked little different from the eyes of the living. There on the shore the sun glowed and our love was indestructible, though the sea washed up a strange red froth. The lobsters were in piles, and they no longer moved, but some of them did and were alive still, and in their movements within the pile they made the heap writhe like water, boiling in a pot. We had eaten the lobsters to forestall our own destruction, but it became clear that nothing would. I resettled myself on the sand and leaned back against you, and I closed my eyes, stroking your leg and your large right claw, and I was at rest at last. 2. Holiday in Cape Cod. Lucy spreads the beach blanket on the hot sand, and I jump on to avoid burning the soles of my feet. Susan is slathering sunscreen on the exposed segments of her body as the gulls circle over us all. We play paddleball and catch, and the little red rubber sphere traces out a path among us three. I walk down to the seam of shore and sea and practice digging small holes with my feet, holes that fill immediately with water. Does water lurk everywhere, just below the surface, or only here? I see you farther upshore, fully clothed, watching me carve hopeless marks in the sand. I see a giant lobster, the size of a beach blanket stranded at the shoreline. It looks a tender pink. You see me seeing the lobster, but you do nothing. The lobster strokes desperately, but it only digs itself farther in. Its legs slap at the wet, dark sand. A common misconception is that a lobster screams when boiled. Actually, the whistling sound is steam escaping the shell. I go over to the giant lobster, not wishing to touch it, but I take up a stick of driftwood and I will wedge it from the sand, roll it toward the water. I go over and briefly it stops struggling, and in this still moment, I think it may be grateful, waiting to be helped. I am nudging the shard under and under its belly to lift, and overhead the gulls go wild. Now the blood is gushing, blue blood, frothing all over the gulls that swoop in to eat from its belly, eat of its belly. It was too tender to move, and it is emptying quick. My stick still sticks in it, the stick now blue. The gulls blue, my hands are blue, blue is everywhere I look except you. You are pale and clean, watching me from afar. You look queasy. That sound, was it a whistle, a hiss, or a scream? From the ocean come thousands upon thousands of lobsters, and they are not whistling or hissing or screaming, but are whispering one word over and over again, over and over and over. 3. I'll have the lobster in cream sauce, Susan says, tilting her head this way and that at the menu. But please, make certain the seafood is of local origin. We have all traveled too far to dine on imported creatures. Plunge 2 lobsters, each weighing 2 pounds, into the boiling water, quickly, so they die at once. Break off the large claws and set them in the center of a saucepan. Douse in white wine and water. Add bay leaves, parsley, and onion, and boil for 20 minutes. Then pull apart the tails, strain the creamy innards, and fry the remainder in butter. Moisten with lobster stock and add shallots, cream, and brandy. Cut the bodies in slices and lay the shells at the sides, the heads facing up toward you, directly toward you, and pointed away from the sea. Lucy licks her lips, studies the menu. I'd like the lobster à la bordelaise, with extra wedges of lemon and some Tabasco, please. In white wine with a broth based on lobster flesh, simmered with diced carrots, onions, and potatoes. The lobster must be fresh, unfrozen, caught from cold water that hardens the shell.